7.5, we're doing more scaled figures, but we're going to talk about what that does to the perimeter and the area. It says a rectangle below dilated by a scale factor of a half. So you can see that this times a half would get something smaller. Find the perimeter and area of the rectangle below, as well as the perimeter and area of the dilated rectangle. Figures are not necessarily drawn to scale. So lots of ways you can do this. First, we need to think of perimeter. There's a formula. It could be 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Saying because this side's 46, this is 46. If this is 37, this is 37. So I could double this, add them together, or simply just add up all the sides. Whatever you prefer. I'm going to do 46 times 2, and I'm going to do 37 times 2, and then add those. It should be 166. And that's just units. Okay, area, you should know is length times width. So I'm going to take 46 times 37 and gets a much bigger number because we're multiplying, 1,702. So now we can go ahead and do half of these numbers. So I'm going to take half of 37 or divide it by 2 and get 18.5. And half of 46 would be 23. And find the perimeter again. So I'm going to have 23 doubled, 18.5 doubled, and then add them. So I'd get a perimeter of 83. Now I want to show you something. 166, if I took half of that or divided it by 2, I get 83. So you should notice that these two are directly related. Is once I find the perimeter of the first image, you can take it times the scale factor and get the other perimeter. You don't have to do the labeling. But area is not as much, because you think if I am taking this thing and I'll show you the number first and then I'll explain the connection. 18.5 times 23 is 425.5. And then what I need to know, actually no, I'll explain that in the second part of this. These are level 1, so I'll just keep it at that for now. All right, number 2, perimeter of a triangle is simply adding up all the sides. So add 48, 14, and 50 is 112. Area, though, is 1/2 base times height. Your base and your height are your right angles here. So 1/2, 14 times 48. I'm going to take half of 14 first. I know that's 7, and then 7 times 48. Or you could do a half is 0.5 times 14 times 48, however you want to do it, but you should get an area of 336. Okay, so perimeter, if I see that this other triangle is dilated by a scale factor of 2, I can simply multiply this by 2, which would get 224 without even coming up with the measurements. But for area, I'm going to need them. So 14 times 2 would make this 28. This hypotenuse is 100, and this would be 96. So for area, I'd have to do 1/2 times 28 times 96. So I know half of 28, that would be 14. 14 times 96 gets me 1,344 square units.